Hey, so this video is called, it's a classic story. It's called Uncle Aaron's Wiggly Arms. I'm going to quickly take a moment to say that I am utterly convinced that all the shitlords have been arrested at this point, because there's no way they wouldn't have commented on some of these videos. They're some of the most damning videos I've made. But let's move on from that. Looks like the assholes will not be bothering me anymore. I'm still hoping that the police department does the right thing and returns my fucking car, because otherwise they're gonna be buying me a new Prius, and I like the new model. So anyway, Wiggly Arms. So basically, I met my first niece when she was very young, and then me and my brother had a falling out. It was years before I sort of like reunited with him. And by then he had my second niece, right? And so I was meeting her for the first time at Sarasota Hollywood 20. We were going to see a movie, and it was a Pixar movie, I think. This was the one. I can't remember what it was called, but it's the one where like they're a village of like sort of turn of the century people, and they discover these little green balls that are like some kind of energy source, and long story short, they're living in the body of a giant organism, and it's killing the organism by harvesting these little tiny orbs, and they end up going back to a life of pre-electricity sort of. And so it's almost like a Final Fantasy VII, but not done very well. And it's really the only miss I've ever seen that Pixar ever do. But anyway, so we're in the lobby, and I meet my little niece for the first time, and she's like, "Uncle Aaron, you look really strong. Can you pick me up?" And I don't think I've ever picked up like a kid before, so I don't really know how to do it. I make the mistake of standing too far back, and I lean over, go to pick her up. She goes, "Actually put me down." And I was like, "Oh God, what happened?" So I put her down. I said, "Something wrong?" She says, "You look strong, but you have wiggly arms." I was like, because my arms were trembling because I was off center. So it was like, I was like pretend offended at that for a very long time, and I would always bring it up. And then I think the best reference to wiggly arms happened months later when we were in Oregon, and she asked me to get something off the top shelf of the pantry. Now, as a rule, I don't like to give the kids like food that isn't healthy. Not that I think they shouldn't eat healthy food, but I don't want to be making dietary decisions for kids. It was very much about like having fun, playing games, but not really like, I don't want the responsibility. And you know what? That's the nice thing about being an uncle. The responsibility is a parent's problem. I get to do all the cool stuff and be the cool uncle, right? So I don't want to be the one to say, "No, you can't have this," or "Yeah, you can have this," you know. So anyway, I say, "You know, I would love to get that for you, but you're gonna have to ask another adult, because I don't know if I can reach it with my wiggly arms." This is kind of trolling the shit out of this kid, right? And she fucking counterattacked. She reverse Uno carded me. I'll tell you what she did. She goes, "It's okay, Uncle Aaron. I know you try your best." And I was like, "Alright, I got it for her." And she goes, "Tricked you," and runs away. This little shit. So yeah, this is Wiggly Arms saga. I am the uncle with the wiggly arms. I definitely, speaking of wiggly arms, you know, I want to get into working out. This has really taken a toll on my body, and I remember working out at the Cape in the Kennedy Space Center gym, and the trick to working out, that if anybody hates working out, if you're a fat guy like me, you hate working out, here's the secret. It does suck for a real long time, but if you do long enough, it's okay. But you have to get through the suck part. There's no, like, you're gonna go and be like, "I don't know why anybody would do this to themselves." You just have to get through it, and then it's cool. And then actually it's really gives you energy, makes you feel good. So just stick with it is the trick. Nobody really told me that. I guess it's supposed to be inferred, but anyway. So hopefully I will work on my wiggly arms, and they won't wiggle as much. But I will always be the honorary uncle with the wiggly arms, and that is the wiggly arms story. So I guess like I'm feeling pretty good. The best I've been in almost a year. I've been trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. I think there's like this mafia shit. No, it's just my brother being an asshole and like making a report, and they investigate it, and it's done, and he's like not satisfied with the answers, so he goes like fucking Wild West on me. So I'm hoping that now that like we know that I know, we can fucking stop this, because but hey, I take that back. You guys want to keep doing this, that's fine, because I am getting a civil rights attorney, and I am thinking about how wonderful my bank account is going to be after I sue all of the jurisdictions involved. Obviously my brother, my father's got deep pockets. Gabby, if she, I mean, she's got, I don't know how her finances are, but I'm gonna sue the shit out of her. Probably all the police departments involved. I'm gonna be fine. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a nice cushy IT job, and I'm gonna get lots of things that I used to have, and then when I'm done rebuilding the things I have, I'm gonna take all my money and I'm gonna save it up, and I'm gonna visit my nieces very often, and I'm gonna buy them very nice things. Because you know what? That's the uncle I want to be. I want to be the uncle who gets the kids the newest console. I want to be the uncle who gets the kids the great thing. And you know what? I'll be remembered as the cool fucking uncle, and they'll grow up and be like, man, we had a shitty dad, but we did have a nice uncle, and that made things okay as a kid. And that's what I'm gonna fucking do. I'm done with this. They may be my only decent relatives left, other than my cousin in New York. But my cousin, the other cousin I liked, is dead because my family abandoned him, just like they did to me. And just like me, and this will be a hot take, he was a drug addict, but you don't abandon people. You don't abandon people. I didn't happen to have the problem that they said about me, but the problem they said about him, you don't fucking abandon people for. You don't let them drag you down. The drug addicts can drag you down, but you don't. If he's calling you 15 times in the middle of the night, you pick up the phone because something's wrong, and something was wrong. And he overdosed and died. And I blame my entire mom's side of the family for abandoning Michael. You killed him. He didn't die of a drug overdose. He died of being alone, and I almost did too. And all of you should live in shame about that. So sorry to end the Wiggly story with a dark moment, but this is fucked up. This whole thing is real fucked up. And there will be justice. And I will take, I'm a man of very, I don't have a lot of needs. I think over 70K a year, I didn't really know how to spend it, but I know how to spend it now. I'm gonna buy the best things for my nieces, and I'm gonna send it to them in the holidays. And they're never gonna, and you know what? I'll pay for their college. I'll do everything I can. Because you know what? That kid, the older one, both of them are incredibly smart, but the older one, I gotta tell you, there's something about a 7-year-old that can hold their own in a coding club where the minimum age is 14. That's not normal. That is exceptional. And she needs to be nurtured, because you know what? Had I been nurtured, I could have done a lot greater things, and I will make sure that she gets to do great things.